Hey, you guys, it is William, Suzanne, and Bernardo calling from Wee Wee Blogs. We are here not in Basel, but in Lisbon.
They came to visit.
You know, this was my first Eurovision, Lisbon 2018. First time I attended.
Yeah, and because there is less rehearsal footage this year coming out, because, the press room is closed the first week, we thought, why spend 17 days in the host city? Instead, we'll revisit Eurovision 2018.
In the best city, Lisbon.
Oh, he's not biased at all.
Not at all, not at all.
But we'll be here for a few days before we head to Basel, and we cannot wait to get there. In any case,
I was actually in Basel yesterday.
dropping off luggage to then fly here. Her carbon footprint is so low. But listen, you guys, we have to do this efficiently.
Oh my God.
We are going to reveal our semi-final 2 prediction. Before this video, each of us compiled a list of 10 qualifiers, and we are going to go through where we agree, where we disagree, and then we're going to debate what's in between. Shall we talk about it?
Let's do this!
All right, so the first country that we all said was in is Australia. Bernardo, why?
Well, I think it's pretty straightforward. It's a nice kickoff of semi-final 2. I think it's going to be very colorful. It's very comfortable on stage. He can sing. I think it's just going to be an overall 3-minute showpiece that will engage with both the Eurovision audience that craves for something fun and upbeat, and also younger audiences. It's very Gen Z and TikTok coded, so I am not worried whatsoever about its qualification chances. Yeah.
I just like the song. It kind of starts out and makes me think of an ice cream truck. If an ice cream truck had creepy music going with it. But I don't know, this year is interesting with all the food, like the espresso macchiato and the milkshake and the poison cake. And am I missing any other food? Anyway, so I watch it, I think ice cream truck. It kind of reminded me of Windows 95 Man at first, but no, I got tired of that one really fast. I'm not going to get tired of this one. I think I'm going to like it the entire couple of weeks. And so, yeah, it's definitely qualifying.
Great show opener. He's very telegenic. He can move his body. He's not just serving soft serve, he's serving body. He knows how to move. It's playful, it's fun, it's global, it's international. It also has that throwback vibe.
Yes, it does.
But it's also very now, it feels very Australian. I think that Ireland is voting. I'm trying to think of native English-speaking countries. Malta is voting.
And the United Kingdom is voting.
No. Oh, yes! The United Kingdom is voting. And also the diaspora, the Australian diaspora in the UK. There are lots of Serbians and Montenegrins in Australia, so there's interplay between these countries. Australia's going through is the point. We move on. The next country we all agreed is qualifying is Austria. Dropping the Aurelia there, Austria. Bernardo, kick us off.
I mean, this is a fan favorite. Everyone has been talking about the song since it got out. And then the hype kept going as he started performing in the pre-party circuit. I think we're not seeing the whole picture, and we've been promised that we're not seeing the whole picture. And I think it was already strong in the pre-party season just with the vocal. So when we see the full set piece, I think there is no chance in heaven that this doesn't go through to the final. Even though the juries are not in the semifinals to back it up, I think the fact that at the semifinals of Eurovision, most of the audience is comprised of Eurofans, and though this is the block that mostly votes in the semifinals, so I'm not worried that this is going through.
Germany is also voting in this semifinal, so you would think they'd get some points there. It's funny, I think this will do better in the grand final than it will in the semifinal. I think it is a contender in the grand final, but weirdly, I do slightly worry here in the semifinal. I do think it's going through, and I think some of the reasons you mentioned explain that. I do think Euro fans typically vote, but also I think that it's going to have some neighborly support, and ultimately the final 20 seconds will appeal to a mass audience.
Yeah, I don't think it will win the semifinal. I need to put that out there. I can see something in the range of what happened last year with Nemo, which I believe came 4th or 5th in the semifinal with only televote. And then, of course, in the final with the juries, it kind of was enough to make it through the finish line.
Very few songs hit as hard in the final 20 seconds as this. I think Finland hits that hard, but we'll come to that later.
So this is actually not one of my favorite songs. However, I think that the staging is going to wow people. I kind of felt like it was boring and just another love song. However, when we look at how everyone is going to respond to it, I do feel like it's going to go over well.
Great. So we agree on 7 that are in. The third country we all agree on as being in is Greece. Klavdia, Asteromata, Starry Eyes. There are only 3 ballads. Yeah, there are only 3 ballads here. You've got Montenegro performing second, you've got Greece in the middle, and then later you've got Serbia and Israel later. So you've got 4 ballads. I think this just stands out. It's an ethnic ballad sung in Greek. That's very powerful, and if they stage it right, it will sail through.
I think it will be very dependent on staging. I also think it will qualify because I have trust in the team. Based on the national final, it wasn't like the most high budget show that we've seen. So in many ways, it undercut the performance a bit. But we do know the Greeks occasionally are able to do some magic at Eurovision. I hope they're able to do it because I do think they have the song. They have a song and the performance to do a great show in Basel. And I think even within the ballads that we have in this semifinal, it kind of differentiates itself from the others based on the sound and the texture of the song. So
cinematic.
It's very cinematic. So I do believe this will probably sail through. Yeah.
I really liked this one. I feel like Klavdia is it Klavdia?
Klavdia.
Klavdia. Okay, you actually pronounce
Claudia and Karen hanging out.
Claudia Pasquale.
I feel like Klavdia she comes across as incredibly passionate. That whole mother and child. I love the glasses she was wearing. Beautiful ballad. Again, just so passionate, and her face says so much. This really reminds me of Katarina Dushka from 2019 with the whole lotus flower effect and all of the backup dancers around her. So this one is going through.
Beautiful. The cinematic thing really speaks to me. This feels straight out of a movie.
Yes, it does.
And if it has that cinematic staging, this could climb very high. All right, the 5th country we all agree on. We've said Australia, we've said Austria, we've said Greece. So the 4th country, forgive me, the 4th country we all agree on is serving body, serving dance, serving song.
It's just serving.
Serving cunt. Well, Suzanne, what are
Serving pennies. No, serving everything.
Yes, serving yoga ball, which I imagine appeals to you.
So from the moment I listened to this song, I just really liked it. I think the first time I reacted to it, Bernardo was actually in Atlanta, or maybe I reacted once before, but we had a chance to do it together. And I think you all know I teach yoga and Pilates, and so that's, I've been playing the songs in there, and it's so funny.
How could they forget?
Well, it's so funny every time this one comes on because I hear serving cunt, and I'm like, hey, y'all, in Malta, that actually means song, and now everybody knows that cunt means song.
Cunt
means song.
And it means singing, not song, but yes.
Singing, whatever, in Malta. So this one just, I don't know, it reached out and it grabbed me. I love her presence, and she just owns her identity, and it's going through because she is serving.
Cunt. Can we all scoot over this way? Suzanne's out and Bernardo is in. All right. Yeah, this is fun. I love how it plays on that Arabian riff. You can actually listen to a podcast that me and Freddie made, publishing on Sunday. We speak to a musicologist at Berklee College of Music in the United States who breaks this song down. Very interesting backstory here. In any case, I love that this is drag race aesthetic.
Yeah.
It is so drag race. It's the only really high camp song we have. Yes, you have Erica Vickman, but I view that more as Freddie Mercury, less camp. Yes, you have Australia Milkshake Man, but this is the drag race song. To me, it's its own level of camp, which makes it memorable, it makes it viral, and guess what? Behind all of that is a massive voice.
Yes.
She can sing. There's power, there's poise, and there's humor sailing through.
Well, I'm not worried about this whatsoever. I think the Maltese team knows exactly what they have in hands, and they, even with the change even with changing the song, changing the title, revamping everything, they've made the most out of this preseason. The most. They've been in TV in the United Kingdom, in popular shows, even on BBC, discussing changing the lyrics. This is just like free promo on another level that we haven't seen in quite some time. And then you have Miriana Conte, which is a very like playful and engaging character and person. But I really hope people get behind this. We know sometimes Malta struggles with the televote.
They don't have any neighbors.
And they've struggled in the past, even with songs that were poised to be favorites to win the contest, like Destiny a couple of years ago. So I really hope people get behind this. Don't think that this is just sailing through to the final, and don't pick up your phones and vote. Pick up the phones and vote if you want to see Miriana Conte in the final.
The yoga ball doesn't move unless you move. Okay,
Yep.
Let's help our girl roll to the final. It is so hot. I'm opening the window. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
because we're
am.
going to have the background noise.
No, the party stopped, girl. All right. Thank you for bearing with us. The next country we all said was in. You ain't hallucinating. It is Sissal from Denmark. I am going to kick this off by saying much of what we saw at the national final needs to go. Sissal recognizes that. Sissal has said the song's good, but everything else needs to change. She's amping it up. She's taking it to the next level, and I can't wait. Yes, the song is a little dated, but she has an incredible voice, so she pulls it into 2025.
Yeah.
She can move. She's got presence. I think she's perhaps the most confident performer of the year. You feel like you're in safe hands the moment she hits the stage.
Well,
Hallucination.
I know a lot of our team really loves this song, and I think there were moments when I first heard it where I wondered if the team was actually hallucinating while listening to the song. However, I do think that she's a stunner. I think she has a beautiful baritone-ish voice. Let's see, what did I say here about this? Let's see, Denmark.
Clearly left an impression. Do you want Bernardo to answer while you look up your
No,
notes?
that's really all I have to say.
Was that shade wrapped up in a compliment?
Well, no, I think she's beautiful. I love her voice. I don't love the song. I don't get what all the hype is. So maybe once the staging is changed, it'll really, like, I didn't like Måneskin, remember, years ago. And then I wanted them to win. So I could very easily change my mind. I just initially didn't love this.
Just to confirm, you put her in.
Yeah, I put her in because of how everyone else is responding to the song.
Oh, very interesting. Peer pressure got to Suzanne Adams. Bernardo Tavares Barrera.
I think, like every single year, there's always one country, one song that the Eurofans get behind like immediately and champion that song throughout the entire season. And I think Denmark is that song this year. I don't think the song is anything out of like extraordinary, out of what we've.
I mean, it's better than Sand.
Yeah. Yes. But we've heard.
Can I just say something? Can I just? Honestly, Saba's an amazing singer.
Yes.
But it's just calling a song Sand. This is my first problem.
Sands through the hourglass.
Like, I get what it is. It's similar to how I feel about lighter. It's like we got sand, we have a lighter. I don't know, these song titles. Please, Bernardo, go ahead.
I think it's playing in Sissal's favor that she's extremely charismatic and that she was able to engage and play with the Eurovision fans the best way possible.
Yeah.
And I think it wasn't, I don't think it was on purpose. I think it was it's just her character and how playful she is, and people engage with that. And I think the fact that she was able to hear, I think that's one of the most important things at Eurovision, particularly when you're dealing with a fandom that has opinions on everything. Sometimes we even have opinions on things we shouldn't have opinions on.
Like what?
Like most things. Well, let's not dive into that. This video will turn into a half an hour like discussion. But I think when an artist is open to constructive criticism, that's always good. And she's been nothing but kind, receiving this criticism. And yeah, she's already published, said that she's working on the staging. I don't have any issues with this one. I think it will sail through.
Fantastic. So, just to recap, we have agreed on Australia, Austria, Greece, Malta, and Denmark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 countries of 7. The 6th country we all agreed on was Israel. Now, last year, Israel won its semifinal, correct? Correct. This, to me, is a better song than last year's. I feel like this has sort of classic Eurovision ballad. Like, I like the switch between languages. And so if last year's song won, I feel like this is definitely a contender to win this semi-final. I've not actually heard Yuval sing live, so I cannot speak to that. But this song is, I don't know, I find it more accessible. And I think I saw on social media that she'll perform alone, which I think would fit with the tonality of the song. I don't think you want dancers distracting. I think you want the singer, you want some spotlights. But yeah, in my mind, Israel is going through.
I really like the song. I think she has a beautiful voice. I do love the 2 languages. There are moments where she comes across...
3, I think.
3? Oh, I wrote 2 here.
It's in English, Hebrew, and French.
Okay. Well, I wrote 2 in my notes. Okay. But then again, I always mess that kind of stuff up anyway. All right. And I was listening to some of the lyrics. Even if you said goodbye, you're always with me, choose the light. I really like the song. I think she has a beautiful voice. I think she has a very endearing presence.
Thank you.
Well, I think this will sail through to the final. I think there's no discussion there. Israeli diaspora around the world is very engaged at the moment. So I don't think, even if the song was not good, I think they will sail through to the final. I also share the same opinion as you. I think the song is better than last year. I think from a media standpoint, they were able to make this as shielded as possible from what's happening around politically and socially in the country. Let's see if they're able to keep that till the end. And yeah, I'm waiting to hear her sing live to see if she can carry the song till the finish line.
Well, look, there is one more country that we all agreed is going through, and it's probably obvious to all of you. It is Finland. Erika Vikman, I've got to say, and we do need to actually speed up because we have to go live in 20 minutes, so we should all keep our comments short, but I'm going to break that rule just on this one. With Finland, her hype sort of subsided the moment Kai were chosen in Sweden.
Yeah.
Even, was it the Prime Minister or President? Prime Minister?
I think it was President.
The President of Finland said, I'm fully behind Kai. And Erika aptly said, I do look forward to the day when a man will stand behind a woman, effectively. Her song is about, she's anti-misogyny. She's pro-women's rights. And I think the fact that she's had her kind of breath taken away by a group of men, this is no shade on Kai, by the way. No. This is more the reception at home.
I don't like something.
We'll come to you in a second, girl. All I gotta say is this. I love you, Erika Vikman. And I think Kai's song is more immediate on the radio, but I think Erika's song could be very powerful with staging. I feel like Erika's song is written for TV, and so the fact that the tide has sort of turned away a little bit, I wouldn't worry. It could return in the semifinals.
I think that's the thing. When when I say this, I don't want people to think that Erika was overhyped when she won UMK, because I think it was extremely worth it, and I think the hype was worth it as well. But when you're so hyped at the beginning of the season, there's only one way to go when you're in first place, honeys, and it's down. There's no way to go up. So what Erika really needs to do, it's do what she already did in UMK. So remind people of how powerful she is on stage, remind people how energetic and incredible her song is, and she'll be back on people's minds. For the semifinal, I have no issue she's going to the final. She's closing the semifinal, right? She's going to sail through to the semifinal and be like top 3 in the televote. I'm scared for her in the final with the juries. So I think her media team and PR team should really try to create a narrative around the song to make sure that her message it carries, basically. Yeah.
Suzanne.
I have liked this song from the moment I listened to it. It's very empowering. She has a very strong character, a very strong presence. Ecom is, it's kind of like, I'm standing here, I'm present, I'm alive, I am who I am. I think what surprises me is how risque some of the staging was. And when I think back to, was it Albania a couple of years ago that caught so much grief over being risque? I'm surprised that this one hasn't caught some grief over being risque. However, I do feel that the staging is perfect for the song, and it's one of my favorites.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a break because the lighting has gone down. We're coming right back. Hey, y'all. Okay, so listen. Obviously, we have changed scenes. The sun has set. We cannot be loud because it's now well past 10 p.m. and we're in a hotel. However, just so you know, we stopped recording so that we could do the live stream, and now we're going to pick up.
We had to eat.
And we ate. What was that pasta called?
Forma.
You know, where they get the big old Parmesan block and they melt the noodle or the cheese with the noodle. Oh, my Lord. But look, we
had a pizza, too.
We discussed...
And a bruschetta.
We discussed the
tomato soup.
We discussed the 7 songs we all agreed are in for semifinal 2.
You want to recap what those were?
Those were Australia, Austria, Greece, Malta, Denmark, Israel, and Finland. Now, there are only 2 songs that all of us agreed are out. The first of these countries is Georgia. Georgia is out. Now, the reason I said Georgia is out is I cannot remember the melody. I think she's got a great voice, but the song is just not structured in any kind of... I'm not saying you got to be traditional, but I can't access it. I don't remember it.
I think my answer is basically the same as you. I can't remember the song. I do remember she's a great vocalist, though. And she does have stage presence. I would just wish the song was more memorable. Because if you're bringing like a power ballad, you better sing it, right? And not sometimes you even have like great power ballads that don't make it to the final. Like Tamara Gachacheladze,
beautiful.
Extremely charismatic. The staging was not great, but the song was like kind of forgettable. And I feel like even Gachacheladze having a forgettable song, this one is even more forgettable. I can't remember anything about it, just the vocal. So I don't think there's a path for this.
It's a device to show off her voice, not a song.
Yeah.
So my notes from when I did the Wee Wee Jury. One, I can't remember what the song is about either, but
And she has notes.
I am going to look at my notes. Let's see. Ball gown. Love the ball gown. Artist stands in place. Beautiful complexion. Beautiful voice. Sings passionately. But I don't remember anything about the song. And right now I can't remember what color the ball gown was either.
So to quote Debonetta Remy, she's out.
She's out.
Oh, that makes me sad. Okay.
We move on.
I mean, I don't know her,
But she stands in place.
There is one other country we all said was out.
And this one pains me, actually.
This pains me as well, because I actually like it. Now, this is a prediction video, not a preference video.
Yeah.
It's Lithuania. Katarsis with the song...
Tavo?
Akys.
Akys?
Tavo, Akys? Tavo, Your Eyes is the point.
Yeah.
Now, I love this. Very Radiohead. It builds progressively. It's just that I don't think Europe will be as into it as I am.
Yeah.
I love the studio version. I thought the stage show in Lithuania was great. I just worry for its chances in this wide open semifinal. Bernardo.
I think not every song needs to be at the Eurovision final for it to make a mark at the contest, and this is one of them. I think this is a great addition to the Eurovision 2025 playlist. I would hate a Eurovision where all 37 songs sound the same, and this clearly doesn't sound like most of the songs we have this year. For that reason alone, it deserves some love from the public. I think if we had juries in the final, I think that love would be secured via juries rather than via televote, with the public, it's a bit more unpredictable, taking in consideration like how people voted in the past couple of years. There's really not a track record that I can say, oh yes, this type of song surely goes to the final. But at the same time, it can be a wild card, right? Because this type of songs don't travel to Eurovision that much. So we really don't know how the general public will react to it. But I don't believe it's as impactful as other songs in the semifinal.
A lot of people loved Latvia's Sudden Lights in 2023. I do think that was a better song.
And more accessible as well.
More accessible, and it did not make it. Suzanne.
So at one point, I feel like he's screaming. Other than that, I noticed really good eye contact with the camera. But this, to me, other than the screaming, was not particularly memorable either.
All right, so the two countries we all said are out are Lithuania and Georgia. Now that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 countries.
For how many places?
That we did not agree on. So that means we're just going to go through and say whether we put them in or out. The first country is Montenegro, Nina Žižić, Dobrodošli. She has been incredible on the tour. She can perform the hell out of this song. And it's actually a very beautiful song. However, they've put her in second position, which not the best sign. You can't overcome that. But then at the other end of this, you have the other Balkan ballad from Serbia performing next to last. I don't think both of them...
And you have the ballad from Israel as well.
And you have, you have Greece.
Really good.
And you have Greece.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that only one of the Balkan ballads will make it, if either. And sadly, because this is singing second, I'm going to have to say out for me. Not preference. I would put her through. I just don't think in this position, in this lineup, she can make it. Or it's not an easy, obvious advancing.
Yeah. I think it's exactly, I echo exactly what you said. I think like in any other position, I think, for example, if you had swapped Serbia and Serbia was singing second and Montenegro was close, like second to last in the semifinal, I would potentially say Montenegro would qualify for the final. I would have it in. As it stands now with this running order, I really do not see a path. And considering past years and the fact that the Montenegrin delegation doesn't have as much budget as other delegations to stage their songs, I believe only Nina can carry this, and there's only so much she can do, even if she's perfect.
And she is perfect. She's amazing.
Yeah. This one was one of the first I listened to this season, and for whatever reason, it's really stuck with me. And when I think about Eurovision 2025, it's one that comes to mind. And so I'm saying she's in.
All right. Yes. Now, it is late, so we need to keep these concise.
I'm doing that.
You're doing great. We need to keep these concise.
Thank you so much. Keep going.
Next up is Ireland, Like a Party in the Sky. And I quite like that. It's like a party for the dog, but it is also like a party in the sky. So I said out. And again, this is not preference. This is prediction. And I think it's coming very early. You're giving me the death stare. Looking like Laika. You look like Laika did before she passed.
William, that's so rude. That poor dog. Oh my gosh.
What do you...
Imagine the last moments of that creature's life.
Okay, look, I'm gonna keep this short. I'm saying it's out. Not because I don't enjoy it, but because I think this is a tough semifinal to get through. I love the graphics, though. The visuals are among the best in the entire contest. Bernardo, I'm going to come to you next because I think I know what she's going to say.
Well, my answer for this one, not based on preference as well, but prediction, is out as well. Unfortunately, I think it comes too early in the running order, and I think there's a lot more powerful songs in different genres coming after it. And I think for the for the regular televote or regular viewer, it will be kind of forgotten by the time we wrap up things. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to forget the cute little dog images and the sweet little astronaut girl. And think about the... What?
No, I agree.
Think about the years and years of people who, like Sweet Emmy, heard the story of Laika at school. And she really brings the story to life. I feel like it could really be just nostalgic for a lot of people. I put her in. And I'm sure that I'll talk more about this later.
I suspect you will as well. So we move on. The next country we did not agree on is Latvia. Latvia, Tautumeitas. Beautiful angels, nymphs, honoring their ancestors. I loved this at Supernova. I think that live at the London Eurovision party, it wasn't giving me the same strength. Without the camera cuts, some of the magic is lost. Of course, here they will have the camera cuts. I just think it's an uphill climb for Latvia. Although last year we said the same thing about Don's, then he made it. So, but his vocal was perfect. At the London Eurovision party, the vocal for Latvia was not perfect. It was very good. I guess what I'm trying to say is I would like this in, but I fear that it's not.
I politely disagree with William on this one. I think the Armenians are killer on this song. It's great. They're great. But I agree with you that on the pre-party circuit, this is one of those songs that is not catered for the parties.
It's not a club song.
It is not a club song. So you'll get the same vibe. Well, I think it is. I hope it is. That we get the same vibe at the Eurovision stage, even more enhanced, that we got at the national party. Because I was enchanted. This is basically on my top 10 this year. Surely, like, only based on the harmonies and the quality of the song. And I feel like I'm transported to a different universe, to Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings, all of these crazy things that I like, that I enjoy. And I would vote for this. This is one of the things, I think this caters to a very particular audience. And that audience will pick up their phones and vote.
I hope so. I would love to see Latvia go to the final for a second year in the row.
I will eat my words one time.
World music realness. It's fabulous.
So they're like white witches with bows that remind me of reindeer ears. If you looked at my jury scores, I think that pretty much says why I said out.
What was your score?
Well, this isn't the jury video.
Girl,
I gave him a 3.
A 3?
A 3? That's
three.
great.
That's harsh.
That's harsh.
No, that doesn't mean that could change. Like, again, I didn't like Måneskin.
Fair. So you say in or out?
Out.
All right, we move on. Next up is Armenia, Parg. Let's start with Suzanne.
I gotta pull up my nose.
Survivor.
I gotta pull up my nose.
Let's start with Bernardo.
I'm tired.
Survivor.
I'm so tired.
This is a tricky one, because I think if it came later in the running order, I would consider it more for qualification. I didn't like the national final performance, okay? I understand the message. I understand what he's trying to bring to the stage, but it felt like 3 minutes of screaming for me. Although I do know that the Armenian delegation is perfect at like crafting the perfect staging, so I'm pretty sure they'll bring something visually very interesting to Basel. And the Parg, you've had interactions with him. I personally haven't, but he seems like a very nice guy, very open also to constructive criticism. So. I just hope the performance is better than in the national final. But this early in the running order, I don't think it stands a chance.
So out.
So out, yeah.
Suzanne, in or out?
Out. I actually scored this below Latvia in the jury.
What was your score?
A 2.
And why?
I felt like it was really loud, hard rock with a bad voice. However, it was late at night, and when I was doing this, and I could have been having a moment when I did it. So we'll see if that changes. It hasn't changed so far, but it could.
I understand a lot of what both of you are saying. To me, the best part of Armenian entries at Eurovision is the Armenian aspect, and this feels like a song bought in from Sweden, and indeed it is a song bought in from
I didn't know
Sweden.
that.
It's the Thomas Gayson. This is the Thomas Gayson.
So Armenia last year was so much fun.
Yeah, this song could come from anywhere. And I think that the enunciation is quite weak in the rap section. I struggle to make out what's being said. And that's not in any way, look, I don't speak Armenian, so I'm not making fun of someone for not speaking English.
No, I don't even speak Vietnamese.
But if you're going to speak or sing in English at an international competition and you've had months to prepare, you've got to nail those lyrics. Like, that's part of the task. That's part of the challenge. And I just so far have not heard it click. Parg can perform, though. Parg looks good. Parg can move. Parg has power. There is that moment that is quite cheesy where, remember who you are, giving us Mufasa. And yet, when he says it, I'm like, he believes it.
Yeah.
In Amsterdam, when I heard him say that, I was like, no, he believes this.
But you know what? I would prefer if he said that in Armenian.
Yeah.
I would actually give more credit to this song if he was sang fully in Armenian.
But it toes the line between absolutely camp and quite sweet, that moment. To cut a long story short, if I was a juror, I would not put this in. However, I think this is going to the final. I think this will qualify. I think that there are a lot of Armenia-friendly countries in this semifinal. For instance, France is voting. Germany is voting. And there's, you've got your ex-USSR, you've got your Georgia, you've got your Lithuania, you've got your... Look, I just think Armenia is
There's a path.
There's a pathway. I see the path for this to make the final. All right, even if I wouldn't put it there myself. Next country we've not discussed is Czechia. Adonxs with an X. This has been doing well with the bookies lately. Bernardo, did it do well with you?
Yes, it did. I would put this through to the final solely on the merits of the song, not even considering Adonxs as a performer, which only enhances the quality. I think this is more of a jury song than a televote song, to be honest with you. So I think it might struggle to get out of the semifinal. But if it does, this is, for me, it's like bound for top 10 with the juries in the grand final. I see enough quality there. So I just hope it scratches through. Like Yolanda last year, for example, extremely quality song. She made it through to the final with televote in 8th place. Ooh. She ended up 10th in the final because of the juries. So
yeah, similar logic here. This is more of a jury song than a televote song. I was on the cusp here. I'm worried about its qualification chances, but I think if it qualifies, it will do better in the grand final because juries will respect the voice, the quality, the presence. Adonxs has a figure skater vibe. There's an elegance to the way he moves.
So big.
Yeah, like a ballet.
He's so big.
The way he carries himself. He's so dignified. All of this is a positive.
Yeah.
And I like the dance break, just putting it out there. But I do worry about qualification. However, for this exercise, I said Czechia is in.
I said Czechia is out because I could only put 10 in. This is another one that I didn't score high in my jury scores.
What'd you give it?
A 3. I think
You're
a lot
consistent.
of my jury scores were low this year. I must have been having a really a moment.
A bad year.
A moment the night that I was scoring everything. But I do have to say that of all the songs, this one to me, like in my mind, it's the lyrics. I'm singing it in my head, even though I said it was out. The melody, Anyway, okay, let's move on.
All right. There is one other country we have not discussed, and that is Serbia. Prince with the song Mila. Oh, girl.
We can discuss Mila if you want first.
We will first discuss Mila, and then we will go back to Luxembourg. Forgive me, it's very late, and I skipped it on the list. Serbia. Look, I think it's in. I wouldn't put it in, per se, but I think that we will get ballads in, right? Israel and Greece are going through. That I'm certain about. Then you have Montenegro and Serbia. Only one of them's going through. And I think Serbia is just going to get the support. I think Serbia often has more voting power than Montenegro. I think that Serbia has squeaked in with Luke Black. It's squeaked in with Teodora. And I think it's going to squeak in again with Prince. And if it doesn't, it'll be 11th or 12th.
And in the battle of power vocalists, this is going to be the last one to come.
And it's a male ballad. It's the only male ballad in the... Well, I mean, Austria's opera. So, I mean,
I must say the song is a bit dated. So I would personally not put it through.
I put it in.
I put it in as well, okay. On logic, not on personal taste. But I do think there's also... there's a public for this. This is, for me, it's very dated, but there's like an older public that will eat this up and will eat the vocal up. So and it comes so late that I really think he's gonna make it.
Older voters like it. What about you, Suzanne?
I said yes to the other 3 ballads, I believe. So this one I put out.
And why is that?
it's just not that memorable to me. As a matter of fact, when I go back and look at my notes,
There's very little production. He's quite naked.
I actually scored this one higher than a lot of them. I did say it was a nice ballad, but that was months
What was your
ago.
score?
A 5.5 on this one,
okay.
so higher. But the more I listen to the songs, this one is not the one that is standing out to me.
So the final country, out.
Yes, I said out.
Sorry, forgive me. So the final country to discuss is Luxembourg. Laura, Thorn, Hunty, La Poupe Mo, Le Son. Suzanne, do you want to start us off?
So I will begin by sharing that I scored this at 7.5.
Wow.
And when you look at where I scored a lot of these, this was on the top for me. I loved the dramatic opening. I felt like it was back in the 60s. The pink dresses, the weird looking legs. It was quirky, the whole puppet, the whole mime.
Well, so what are these weird looking legs?
It was something about, I think it was the hosiery in the video. Anyway, I thought she did a great job as a puppet. I loved the eye makeup. I loved the men following the puppet. I loved the white lace. I felt like this was an instruction manual to life. I just really liked it. And my great hope is that outside of, that the whole puppet theme, sometimes when I'm teaching Pilates and I have legs and straps, I'm like pulled out on one string and then the other, and remember, nobody walks your puppet but you. And so I don't know, I like this one a lot, and it's just kind of, I don't know.
In yoga class, do you ever accidentally poop?
I have never pooped in yoga class. No, thank you for asking. I mean, as a matter of fact, no one has ever pooped in a yoga class.
She's clean, babes.
So this one just, it's in.
All right. Bernardo.
This one was difficult for me because this is one of the songs I've streamed the most this year. Because it's just like, it's a feel-good, happy song. Well, we've heard this before. It's kind of like a nod to a previous Eurovision winner, which is very nice. I like that. And it was difficult for me to decide, but I can tell you, between this and Latvia, I was just going back and forth. Like, am I going to put something that like sonically is very like interesting, which is Latvia for me, or will I get like Luxembourg because it's more like comfort food in a way, quote unquote.
France is voting,
and then
didn't say fast food.
No. It's very much comfort food, and then also considering like Ireland as well. I think they cater to the same like type of voter.
That's why I like.
Yeah, I would prefer this to Ireland, to be honest with you. So I think there's a small path for this to make it out of the final, because to make it out of the semifinal, because it's coming so late in the running order, and there's really nothing around it that is similar.
Yeah, emotionally, it's very different from both Czechia and Israel and Serbia. So it's in this sandwich of sort of serious, sober, sad. So it's going to pop out. Now, I was similar to you. So in or out?
For me, they're out because there's only 10 spaces, yeah.
So I was choosing between Ireland, Latvia, Armenia, Serbia, and Luxembourg, and Czechia. Like, all of these songs, for me, were on the bubble. And at the time of...
Burst the bubble.
Yes. Burst the bubble. Cut the strings.
It's an out.
It's out. However... Another part of me is like, wait, Luxembourg is going to throw so much money at this and invest in such incredible staging that's going to push it through.
There's a path. There really is a path for this. And prior to first starting this video, I was discussing with William, listen, I only have like...
Discussing who?
No, not poop, not poopy. I was discussing that we only had like 4 or 5 songs that we were like, yeah, this is surely going through. And then we had like 6 maybes. And William was like, no, you have to select ins and outs. But at first glance, I was like, I have 6 maybes that I don't know how this is.
I had maybes too. But you made us take turn on maybes to know.
People need an in or an out. Okay, we can't sit on the fence. So
thank you, Deb and Remy.
So let's quickly review. I'll name the country and then just say what you said. Australia.
In.
In.
Montenegro.
In.
Out.
Out.
Ireland.
In.
Out.
Out.
Latvia.
Out.
Out.
In.
Armenia.
Out.
In.
Out.
Austria.
In.
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 Greece.
In.
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 Lithuania.
Out.
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 Malta.
In.
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 Georgia.
Out.
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 Denmark.
In.
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 Czechia.
Out.
In.
What did I say? In.
Luxembourg.
In.
Out.
Out.
Israel.
In.
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 Serbia.
Out.
In.
In.
Finland.
In.
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 Well, that's what we think. What do you think? Which 10 countries do you want to go through, and which 10 countries actually are? Let us know here on Wee Wee Blogs.
Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, share on every social media platform that exists.
Leave a comment down below and don't forget to click on the notification bell so you're aware when we publish videos.
And please note, we will be back Sunday evening with another live stream. So I'm publishing this video Sunday afternoon. So tonight, if you're watching on Sunday, we will be back with a live stream. So be sure and check the time. It'll probably be 7:30 or 8. We don't know yet. But yeah, it'll be announced on social media, and just head to YouTube. It'll be the featured video.
And join us at House of Helvetia starting next Saturday.
How do you say Helvetia?
Well, my Swiss friends say it's Helvetia.
Well, Helvetia it shall be.
Or maybe it is Helvetia. Who knows? Maybe they're wrong.
We will put...
How do they say it?
I have no idea.
You were at the House of
visited
Helvetia.
them.
They have never mentioned the brands. I always mentioned it House of Helvetia, and they never corrected me, so I assume it's
So Helvetia is
Helvetia.
fine.
Okay.
Your friends are from Switzerland.
Yes.
So maybe let's go with them. Helvetia.
Helvetia.
Why don't we just ask?
Yeah, let's just ask. We'll see you later.
Bye.